Someone forgot to turn their headset on, so I am terribly sorry for that. But hello, you beautiful people. I hope you've been keeping well. Hope you've had a good week. So, we're picking up where we left off with the story. We've sort of successfully avoided the guards. I had a few run-ins with them, but we're pretty much out of the perimeter. We've cleared out this little part of a train station by the looks of it, and I also managed to raid a safe, which I was quite happy with. Yeah, this is definitely a train station. You can see a subway train there. And I forgot to pick up some bullets. So for those new to the stream, I do play through this game, and I will do my best to be quiet while there are some key points, but I also take photographs. That's something I enjoy doing. I'm a virtual photographer, and I try and capture things that please me. And it can be things just like this, just these signs. I mean, if you look on Instagram at my Division picture, you'll see loads of images of effectively coffee shops more than anything else. I'm going to swap that for the brick for a glass, because it's just a more distracting sound, and I think that will be useful. Okay. Trying to remember all the buttons, because I've been playing both, well, predominantly Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but I've also been playing, well, last night I played the standard version on PS5, sorry, standard PS5 version of Cyber City.
Everyone okay?
Yes. Let's move.
So things you'll notice different to how other people play is that I'm always looking around.
And it is gonna run out.
Because I just look for things that please me, and then I take pictures of them. So things like this overgrown building.
Where we going, Tess?
Really interesting. There's no real
Capitol building's in this direction.
point of focus until these two walk in there. So I'm not going to take the shot. Well, I may. No. Whereas that is an interesting point of focus, but the actual composition does not please me.
How do we get up over this truck? Let's see what we can find.
Yep, we're going through the building that I found attractive, and I'd imagine there's absolutely no coincidence that I found this building attractive. Rather than make a noise and attract all these people to us, let's sneak up and kill them one by one. That one's going to be difficult because they're facing me. Although they're looking down, I'm still going to take them out in an order that makes sense to me. Let's just have a little look in photo mode though. Mainly just to refresh my knowledge on of the control scheme. Because this is a bad composition. It's far brighter on the outside, which will grab your attention, and especially that window above these two. So, I mean, yes, I could crop right in, and this looks messy at the moment, but, oh, actually, instead of doing it that way, I've just discovered there is a zoom. I'll stick that on 63. Zoom right in, then finish it off with this, because the reason it's better to use zoom rather than field of view is field of view takes the background and foreground and brings them closer together, so it can often cause you to lose what you had found attractive in the first place because the spacing is different. So that's why I always tend to use zoom first and do this. The now checking angles because it's always worth just sometimes even just a slight shift in angle can really make a difference. And I'll go around to show you actually. So say you took this to start off with, you've got a great, actually I'll just bring these guys into focus. And this is a really shallow depth of field. So let's carry on with the example. So I will hide this menu. So as we go round, you know, Joel's got a really interesting face. This guy's decomposing. And you move round. Now you're losing Joel's expression, but that light on his blackened eyes is quite good. And the pulling up slightly brings a nice silhouette to him as well. So that can be quite good. Now, the things that I tend to do in After Effects, so in editing, I'll raise the exposure rather than the brightness. Or sometimes I drop it. It depends on the actual lighting when I take the photo in the first place. And I will probably drop the saturation a fair bit. I mean, there are certain things that I don't believe I can do. No, I can't actually do in here. So I can't show you exactly how I would edit this picture. But as you can see, just by a little bit of brightness and to some effect, if you look, so this is a fairly standard saturation, and as you look, because I've increased the brightness, the blues are far richer, which works quite well against the orange in the skin and things like that. But by dropping it, you notice more detail in the face, and it also sort of stops the distraction of the background. So that's some of the things you can do. So let's reset this tab, because what I am also not really played with much is the different filters. Cool, great way to add a little bit of sadness into the picture. You've got warm, goes without saying, it's more happiness. You've got vibrant, which is effectively increasing brightness, increasing saturation. You got noir, which is your old cinema style, so the old black and whites. As you can tell, really doesn't work with this, but stick a spotlight on it and it can make a big difference. Blue orange. There isn't a serious photographer out there on Instagram who hasn't used either teal and orange or blue and orange in some form. So then what you'll tend to see is like a bluish shadows, and the highlights are a little bit orange. So that I can guarantee you can look on most editing software or presets for editing software, and you will find one. So that's that one. I've just dropped down the intensity because I want it more in a range that I'd be interested in. Sepia, that's your, like westerns were a lot of sepias, where it's basically black and white but with a little bit of orange in there. Vintage, so that will most likely be, actually does it have film grain? Yes it does. I can apply that later on, but it just, when I'm capturing images, I want to have as much detail as possible. And for those who've only just joined, I'm literally just giving an example. This isn't a picture that I intend to take. We're just having a look through the different filters more than anything else. I quite like this. So Beast is one to pay attention to. So let's just pop this back on just to see what the default setting is. And it tells us what it is. So it's more of a... Oh, I always get these wrong. I'm going to say violet filter to it. But as you can see, the skin is very, very red, and that's simply because it's already got orange in there in the first place. Terminated, that will just be a style when you die that happens in the game. Gridlocked, kind of looks like a heat sensor. Blacklight, too many jokes about teenage life, not going to go there. But it does bring out a lot of detail in the guy's face. Desert fog, blood. Actually, no, didn't want logos. Lighting. Ugh. So, that's quite a grim one. Where is the filters? So, blood. Don't really need to explain that. Inferno. Just replicates there being a fire somewhere in there. And nuked. Don't know why they called it that, but it's basically a soft. It's almost like a flat contrast, which is actually a style I use quite a lot in my editing. And then you've got Trinity, which will be a 3-piece color set, so I can definitely see green in there. I can see yellow in there. I'm looking to see what else is accentuated, and I think it's blues. So if you look at Joel's arm, where he's holding the head, just on the outside of it you can see the blue there. So I'd say that's what the Trinity is. Let's have a look at the subtle effect of that. Wow, that really, really brings everything out. So I'd imagine... Actually, I'm talking rubbish. It does bring everything out, but I was thinking, wow, it's really brightened it. Well, of course, I've stuck a spotlight on it. What a fool. Pusher, just looks like extra saturation. And I mean a lot. Again, if I put this on 100. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's almost like a sepia meets noir. So that's quite a nice little filter. Almost gives it a bit of a campfire setting if it wasn't for the fact that Joel's killing a man. Or once was a man. But anyway, that is some of the ideas for taking a photo. Its action shots are absolutely fantastic because they're just so easy to do in this game, and others where they allow you to pause the action. Because trust me, trying to do stuff like that in The Division 2 is very, very difficult, and nigh on impossible actually. It's the kindest thing to do. They were infected. Okay, so we have this. We just need somewhere to put it. And I'm thinking
Those look more like the ones that bit me.
it's actually going out
They
there.
still have their faces. They're recently infected. Those soldiers must have just turned.
Which means there's more in the area. We gotta go. Here we go.
I mean, I don't know if it makes a difference, but I tend to turn the lights off when I come across those. Clickers, they don't have eyes anymore. Although I still want to take a picture of one that's much closer to being a clicker, but there's still some human features there. I really hope that there is one, because I've kind of got that idea in my head.
Right.
But either way, let's see what this story has to say. I instantly like that. Instantly like that. I think that's a really nice image. Right, so can I get rid of people? Yes, I can. All. Okay. Now, this game, and it is a brilliant feature, it auto saves your settings. So when it comes to a particular style you like, so if you, similar to me, like to have low saturation, so on every single photo you have a almost like a preset. There's just actions that you always do. Then what you can do is set these, so having it at this sort of level, next time you load photo mode up, it's going to look like this. And where this game also excels is when you reset it, you're literally only resetting that tab. You're not resetting the original settings. So as you can see, my saturation is still on 12, my brightness is still on 40. But that's not what I'm doing right now. So what I prefer to do is to take the picture and then edit it in, well, Photoshop predominantly. I'm trying to get out of that habit and actually learn Lightroom, because that's a more applicable piece of software to do what I do. Because we already know the pictures are going to be great, because this is a created reality, and it's very rare on recent games to actually get any of the aberrations in there that you'd sometimes find in the sky, especially when you boost the brightness of shadows and things like that. This is a much higher fidelity, so you're less likely to get those. So you don't have to do as much healing in your pictures. But anyway, here we are, a lonely street, and this is the picture I'm looking for, and it's really quite an odd one to take a picture of, because really I need to have a subject in there. But I like the fact that everything's leading you to that square in the center. Can he do a square? Yeah, you're through to a really talented human this way. So into the square in the center, I think they do it like that. You've got a leading line going to it everywhere. So you've got the ledges on both sides of the building. They all point to it. You've got the signs, the edge of the buildings all point to it. You've got the staircase pointing to it, and there's nothing there. I think the only thing that pleases me is actually the colours. I mean, the light, more than anything else. I think if I had Ellie down there, or Tess, or a mouse, a deer, any subject, that would make this a fantastic picture. But the ladies are going to hang with me, especially now that I've paused it. They weren't going to walk ahead, so I'm going to work with this. Now, because there isn't a clear picture, a clear subject, sorry, I'm just going to keep the aperture wide open. So that's going to stay off. I'm not going to mess with that. So all I'm going to do is do my usual roll, which really opens up the picture, actually. So you've got a lot more sky. And if I turn this off, you'll notice it looks a lot brighter. Now, due to the nature of... that's the wrong way to say it. Due to the aspect ratio of a TV compared to Instagram, I am going to crop this in quite a bit. And that's one of the reasons I turn the image, is because when I crop in, I want to keep as many pixels as possible. So I'm not losing as much, because the actual crop itself is only losing a little bit at the top of the bottom. So I still keep as much fidelity as I can. I will most certainly try and lose a fair bit off the top, because I find that the brightness of the sky is a little bit too distracting. It takes away the focusing elements that lead you to the blank square, and the sky isn't interesting enough to do that. If it was a really angry, stormy cloud, then I could be tempted. But this is not that shot. So I'm just going to grab this picture. And it really is an easy picture to take. Centre the square in the middle. And if you look at the rule of thirds, it's dead centre of the centre square. Give or take a millimetre, let's be honest. And it's all about light. That's all it is. I'll be a slight... Oh no, let's get my head in gear now. So a slight adjustment. Then that would bring you like all of the greens and so on. On this side, your attention would be more towards the Zeva, I'd say that is. And if you look, the reason your eyes are attracted to that is because of the intersection in the top right. So I think that I had framed that really well. And I really hope when I crop it, it will make a good picture. But that does lead me to another point, really. And it's something I didn't do here, which I probably should have done. A really good technique in any photography, but it works quite well for virtual photography, is line up your shot, zoom out a little bit. So if you're quite happy with your composition, you've got all the elements you want in there, and you've taken out all of the distraction subjects, then you just zoom out a little bit, and that gives you a chance to crop in and make minor corrections. Because sometimes a change of angle or change of position can really bring out a picture or a scene.
We'll cut through this building. Yeah, that worked out great last time.
Oh, Ellie.
Sorry, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, don't. We don't need pessimists in this.
What? I don't hear anything.
Okay, double time.
I know!
Okay, that's good. Let's keep going.
Oh my days. They be hungry. And no one's checked who's actually in the room.
You got something on your shoe. Gross.
You got red on you.
Okay, how do we get out of this place?
Let's find out.
Yeah, can I turn this on? Boo.
So Marlene thinks you're immune?
Well, that's what she believes.
Well, how were you bitten? I mean, you must have been somewhere you shouldn't to find an infected in the zone.
Yeah. I sneak out.
Always got to collect
I
stuff.
was in this military boarding
Oh,
You can sneak out?
You know, explore the city. I was in the mall when I ran into infected.
That place is completely
okay, so I
off
can't do
limits.
that, but I
How the hell did you
can
get in there?
do this.
I had my ways.
Is that because I haven't got
And
enough?
One of those, what you guys call runners, bit me, and that was that.
I see. Were you with Marlene when you were bitten?
No. I went to her for help afterwards.
Knowing her, I'm surprised she didn't shoot you.
She almost did. Hope she's all right.
I told you. She's gonna be fine.
Sorry, I was being quiet while they were talking. Or trying to, I'm terrible at that. So, let's have a little look. So we can't upgrade that, but we do have one of these. Which is very, very useful against the bigger targets. And I have been collecting an awful lot. So, these are the two limitations. So we've got a 25% reload speed and a 15% rate of fire. I can afford both. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to upgrade this gun as well. 15, 30. We can do it.
Evening, Chief. Came in about
Hey.
10 minutes late, but enjoying this nice combo of gameplay and photo technique.
I'm really glad you're enjoying it, sir. Really appreciate it, and don't worry about being late. I mean, just the thing is, I don't know why there aren't notifications. It may be that I'm very new and don't have the right affiliation or something. But, hey, the fact you're here, I mean, they genuinely made my day when I found out you had watched when you were there on the last stream. So, whenever you turn up is always appreciated. But yeah, I was a little worried about doing this, actually. If I'm honest with you, because I didn't know if it would be too confusing having two themes in one stream, so I'm glad it's working. I hope you're keeping well, sir. Oh, and you really haven't missed anything. So, where we left off last week, I walked out of there, took a photo, and now we're here. So, it really doesn't matter. Nice pictures. Nothing. I will always try and ransack a room.
I get the bell to say you're streaming.
Ah,
Just my drummer's timing, slightly smiling face, it's a good combo. I'm learning a lot from both.
oh, cool.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you know, I will still remember your joke about the drum machine. What's the difference between a drummer and a drum machine? You only have to beat the rhythm into a drum machine once. Ah, that did make me laugh. But that's the thing, is even though I'm sort of finding my feet with photography, I always appreciate any sort of feedback and any sort of advice as well. Because what I'd love to do is to actually create a community where everyone
Tess,
helps each other to grow in their pictures. I mean, I've taken a lot of photos based on general photography rules, is what I do. So things like the rules of third, the contrasts, the framing, that
the
sort
zoom
of
out
thing.
hint was a new one for me. Good idea.
Ah, thank you, mate. Yeah, it's just something that I only discovered when I got to the editing stage. And it's predominantly with the Tomb Raider pictures that I've been putting on Instagram. And also, well, basically any of them where I flip the screen. There's been so many pictures where the character's just a little bit too far to the edge. So that I can't crop them to get into the right position. So, yeah. It really has got me out of a lot of trouble. Or saved a lot of photos just by, as I say, setting everything up and just stepping back a bit.
What is this place?
And you also taught me something on the
Hundreds of years old.
Gran Turismo stream, where you were saying about moving and then doing the depth of focus. I hadn't actually realised that was a technique, so it's something that I've actually used quite a bit. So, yeah, as I say, we're helping each other, so it's definitely a good thing. Oh, cool. Would have been nice to pick up the sword, but that probably wouldn't make a good shiv. What's in here before I carry on? Now definitely looks like a way to go. Whereas I am interested in... I've just remembered where we are. But anyway, yeah, I am interested in making shivs so that I can remain quiet.
I always got the habit of scanning all four corners of the frame before I take the shot.
That's something I need to learn, actually. So, more often than not, I save a picture by cropping. And sometimes I crop quite extremely and I'll do little rotates and so on. Because the amount of times... I'll let this be quiet a second.
I'll make my way around.
Look, they're here!
Tess?
Run!
I'm going to pause it. So the amount of times I've taken a really nice picture, there's loads of negative space around it, so a bit of a minimalist one, and you've got a tiny little bit of a branch just on the edge, or a rock in the wrong place. A lot of my pictures on Death Stranding, I fell foul to that, so that's something I need to learn. Okay. Oh. Very sneaky, sneaky. Clicker. I can't resist. Oh, but before I do I actually have shivs? Well, I've only got one, I believe. And this is the one who's going to get it. Because I want to see...
Saw a stunning pic of yours this week, looking up at a tower. Spectacular.
Oh, thank you so much. That was on Instagram. I didn't know you'd followed me. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that one was actually an advertising board. So it's a pyramid. I mean, a triangular one, and it's just got adverts around the outside of it. So I just got really close and just focused up. And that was very much a minimalist idea of using the space. I mean, I'd actually waited about somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes for a cloud to pass before taking that picture. And then I had to move it slightly so that the... Sorry. So a little branch came out of it. Oh, shoot. They're not meant to see at all. Is that still alive? Wow. Oh, these aren't fully clickers. So do they have faces, though? Are they a candidate for the shot I want? I should really play and get past this part. So, they can see light, so they're not fully turned yet. Oh. That's it. That's that. Okay. Oh, let's reset that. Oh. It does that now. So, earlier, I turned off hide characters. So let's pop that one back on. And I need to go down. What I'm toying with is actually using like the silhouette technique. Why won't it go around? So I want... That's game, that's custom. I definitely want custom. Move that down. I'm going to have to use field of view. There's absolutely no way around that. So I can't get a good silhouette of it. I can't frame it. But they've got the jaw. If it's got an eye, that's certainly something worth exploring. Not with these ones. Damn. So I have to have a shiv to kill him. We're calling this learning. Now, this game is quite similar to Session and any skateboard game, whereas to get a successful shot or a successful trick or anything like that, you're gonna die a lot. And this most certainly seems to be like that. So I've got this one here that has a potential to see me. There we are. No. Keep walking away. No, you're not going to walk away. And I can't kill it with a shiv. I can't strangle it. And for the love of God, I can't move around either. Oh, wait a minute. There must be a way. So zoom out to get as much range as possible, potentially. It's in a strange orbit mode, but I should be used to that following the playing Cyberpunk 2077 all last night. No, it's not going to let me play. And this turning the light on has just signed my death warrant. So I really wanted this to work. Let's zoom in. None of the zooms are really working. So let's zoom out. That should be zoom in, but doesn't appear to be doing anything. We're going to have to give up this one. I'm not going to get it. Oh, it's not that good at seeing. Ha! Completely dodged a bullet there. Although it's not letting me back through here. So, very quietly, we're going to make a skiv. I can only do one of them. And I feel that the screaming bit is a bit obvious for a shot. And that is a good contrast. Zoom in, drop down. No, that's not really enough. So one of the things I'm using is that pane within the door to try and frame it a little bit. That I don't think works. I mean, so far this is turning into a really bad picture, so how close can we zoom? Because the other technique we can use is to the contrast. It's quite dark. The background's quite light. That's actually quite a nice wallpaper, you know. So we've got hair, we've got teeth, but not a great deal. What else can we do? So may need to raise that up a bit. And if you look at the grid, it's not in a great position, but we're about to roll it. Back to my 90 degrees. Works well on the face, because of course that's now aligned. It works well with the door frame as well, so the actual door itself and the now horizontal edge, but it's actually a vertical. And I could just place the ruler, the line on that itself, so I definitely need a bit more roll. Because what I'm going to do is just, I could break the rule, actually. Oh, let me see. Come on, brain. So we need to actually roll it a little bit more extreme. Because the other thing I'm tempted to do is almost have it upright and it look into the sky. Now for that to work, I need to remember these controls tilt 90 degrees. Ooh. Let's hide everything. Because tilt my head, I really don't like that at all. So can I do something like this, which is a bit more interesting? That does make the tilt a little bit too extreme. Possibly, where's the grid? Actually, is it? No, I don't. Is that too much? That is the question. Center in the frame. And these are rules that are exceptionally useful, but you don't always have to follow them. And what I mean by that is that, yes, these are great techniques for balancing the picture. I've just centered him, which is a rule and so on, but you don't necessarily have to do that. So it doesn't matter that the top right intersection is on that shadow in the background because it's darker than the main subject. That subject is a contrast against the white wall, which isn't ideal, if I'm honest. But then I presume this was a elderly gentleman before they turned, because they've got very white hair, which is quite a stark contrast against the, I think that's a tinted cabinet behind it. So that brings your eyes back to it. Please give me a moment.
Can you get to floor level and shoot upwards? And your muted, slightly smiling face.
Oh my days. Terribly sorry. What I had said is, yep, I most certainly can. So I'm going to just experiment with this particular shot, but I really like where you're going with this. Because I just wanted to see if taking out all of the interesting parts, I'm going to drop the aperture slightly. Because one of the things I'm going to do in this stream is to actually experiment with different levels of aperture. So let's just hide that. I'm going to take it, and the reason I'm going to take it is with my style of, or the style I sort of trying to develop at the moment, is I'll drop the highlights by 25, raise the shadows by 25, and that's my default for every single shot that I take. It just really flattens the contrast. So it should, and then what I'll do is I'll use the whites and blacks to actually bring out detail rather than compensating for the flat contrast, and then I'll bring the colour back in. So I expect to bring some details out. But I think you are definitely right that, especially with a background like that, fortunately it's not letting me go any lower than that. Oh, I am literally on the floor. Right. So we're going to, so that's as far as I can go. But the field of view,
Hello.
Hey Ainley, how are we doing, sir? It's an absolute joy to hear from you again. Hope you're keeping well. And I really hope you don't mind, but I named a robot after you.
I'm fine. Who?
Get on. Yeah, I'm really well. This is the start of a week off, so I am in a great mood right now.
You did.
I did, yeah. Well, it's kind of a tradition.
It's an honor.
Well, you deserve it, mate. You really do. I really wanted to have you, and I've spelt it the same way you do as well. I really wanted to be able to do that, mainly because, like, especially with Twitch, I really wouldn't have been where I was without you. And I really enjoyed all our conversations throughout all those times. And it's also because you're a programmer, so you kind of would get the geeky coolness of having a robot named after you.
Like
So,
robot where?
it's, I automate computer like processes on computers, so it's not a real robot. It's a robotic process automation robot. So it's a computer program. So in Blue Prism is where you have a robot named after you. And that robot is going to be doing manual processes for
I
one
get it, grinning
department.
face.
Get on. So yeah, I am really glad that that is all right. Sorry, I was trying to talk and get this arm out of the shot at the same time. But that's not going to work, so got to do it the long way. But yeah, how you been doing, mate? How's life been treating you? Oops.
Sorry I didn't come in a long time. School started and I didn't have much time, and totally forgot 'cause I didn't get the Twitch notifications.
Oh, mate, there's no need to apologise. I knew that, because it's very similar over here as well, with school terms and so on. So I knew that's what had happened. So, as I say, no need to apologise whatsoever. The fact you're here now is awesome. I'm actually going to not put this on an intersection. Well, with the exception of its knee. I think that works better. So now, let's creep up on it and kill it. Now we're in trouble because I need to get some blades.
I finished Thor Ragnarok if I didn't tell you yet.
Oh!
Got new graphics card.
Oh, mate. I still haven't played that yet, and I really want to. How can I incorporate these? Well, let's kill these guys first, and then think about incorporating it. Okay, so
And I'm creating a game in Unity as my final work to school.
Oh, cool! Ah, Oh my days. That's actually quite exciting. You're creating an entire game. I mean, I know you've... oh! Is this chess that you're going to do? Because I remember you said you wanted to program that. God. There we are. Because I know you did Minesweeper.
It will be something like a Celeste if you know what it is.
Oh! That's the stylized... I remember it being... It's a young lady in it. But I never played it, so I don't know what that game is. Right, before I forget, need to build a shiv.
Chess wouldn't work as a final work.
I'd imagine that to be a very complicated thing. So it's a shame they won't accept it. But I suppose they would want something graphically impressive to show that you can do all aspects of it. Alright, can I
It's
pull
like
this
a
off?
work from all 4 years of the school where I go.
Ah, okay. Mate, you're gonna boss it. 100% expect that. Oh. Oh, why did I have to go into a building that has no blades? So I've used the only shiv I have, but I'm hoping this gun will be enough to one-shot them. Especially at the range I'm going to go for. What is that? That's just a...
I hope so.
Yeah, I believe it. How is it still alive after that? That'll do. Rather like this gun. Ugh. Oh no, I do want that. Okay, is there anything I can
Still didn't
scan?
finish Cloud 2D.
Did you get bored? Have to ask. Oh, I mean, I remember you really didn't appreciate the story. Actually, no, I can't sell it to you. I was bored senseless for the last half hour. I just wanted it to end, so... It's not even that I feel like you're missing out by not doing it. You're really not. But... if you're ever bored, it's worth a play.
I didn't play it since the last time I spoke to you.
Oh my days. And is that because of Ragnarok, or just once you put it down you forgot about it? Because that does happen.
I enjoyed more Lies of P than that she asterisk.
Tess?
It was just shit. The mechanics I thought were better than this game. But that's as nice as I can get. And the sequel is always the hardest thing to do, so I give them props. You know, they
Abby
did...
is the worst character ever, I'm off.
Oh, 100%. And not... I can't say on here, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's watching this for the actual story. But, yeah, I wasn't a fan of her. And I just don't think that
It would
fight...
be the best game if it ended where Abby began.
Or just... Who was I talking to? I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of my friends, Fraser, who came on Twitch a few times. If they had done it in a different order, that had made more sense and not focused on that rivalry, they may have saved that game. But alas, they did not. Okay, I'm tempted to go back, and it is a bit of a cheesy shot, but I really liked the dust particles. So I want to see if I can do anything with that. So let's reset this. We've got Joel here. We've got some really nice particles.
It's like, play as the character who killed the coolest guy character ever made, and try to like her.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to avoid that spoiler, but yes, most certainly. It was... There was things in there, in that story, that allowed you
Damn
to...
sorry, D.
Oh, no, it's all good. To be quite honest, I mean, I've got 15 followers, and most of my videos maybe 1 or 2 likes. And when I edit this stream down into a video, obviously I'm going to cut that out as well. So absolutely no drama. The chances of someone watching this is very, very slim. And the way I name these and the focus that I have, really it's only going to be virtual
I
photographers
got
who
to
would look
take
at this.
off at 9 thanks for another enjoyable stream. Catch you next week, if not before. Keep smiling, bud.
Thank you,
Carl
buddy.
Green Asire.
Have a great one, Carl. Thanks for joining. And I look forward to speaking to you next week. Or the one after, whichever you can make. So, take care of yourself, sir. Always a pleasure. But, yeah, most of the people who will be watching this, photographers or virtual photographers, so I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. But for those who are watching this for the story, sorry for stopping to take photos all the time, and sorry for the little spoiler. But, yeah, Ainley, it's no issue whatsoever. So, got the distance, we want it on Joel, but I'm just trying to balance the aperture so we've got the dust particles, and I feel that
And Starfield came out.
no, that's also a good reason to stop playing it. I've not played it. I don't know what it's like, but if it's anything like their other games, I'm hoping it's going to be a masterpiece.
Another catastrophe in optimations.
Oh, really? That's gutting. Because I mean, I'm playing this. I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is on rails, but is actually a really good game. But, yeah, it's a
RTX
shame.
2070 Super, and still can't run it on 60 on lowest.
Oh my days. I mean, that's a beast of a sound card. That's pretty shocking, to be quite honest. So you're really investing in these PCs. Which is good, because that way you've got the PS5 for PlayStation exclusives, and then you've got the PC for your Xbox exclusives and Microsoft ones, and Steam and Valve, not Valve, but Steam and that sort of thing. So that's really cool. Okay, let's rotate this shot.
I just have the developers that can't optimize their games.
It has been a fairly common theme in the probably the last 5 to 10 years, where we're getting games that are just not finished. Yeah, I feel it is very wrong that they charge the amount they do, and and don't even have a finished product to justify that cost. It really does take the Michael. Okay. So with this picture, you've got a really bright element in the background, which is the window, which can be distracting, but it's all blurred out. You've got the light particles that bring you closer to it.
At least it came out in Xbox Game Pass for free.
That's, to be quite honest, if it's free, well, apart from the subscription, that's not really that bad. Getting that to play with, yeah, it's broken, but it just means that they're going to be patching it. So in the future, you're going to have a great game for free. I mean, it's one of the things I found, and one of the original reasons I did the PlayStation Extra is so I could do all the indie games. You know, the ones where you're like, that does look interesting, but I don't want to pay that much money for it. So having it on subscription where I can just download it is great, and it's very much for this. With Starfield, yeah, it's broken, but they will fix it, and it will become a great game. How many years it takes them to do that's a different story, but they will be able to do it. But yeah, man, you've got yourself a proper gaming setup now. That's really cool. Okay. I'm just checking the elements on this before I take the photo, because he's not in any of the rules, so I'm slightly breaking the rules here, but I have still given him space to look into. You've got the beam of light from him, which is actually forming a guiding line together with the roof joist, I think they're called, and all of the planks of wood in the floor are leading towards him. So I'm just going to grab that picture. And then I'm going to muck around with lights.
Oh, I started Horizon Forbidden West. Didn't play it for long, but I hope I find time to finish it.
I really hope you do. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I thought they did a wonderful job on it. Where is that light source? Here. I need to change the hue of it. But I've also got the Call of the Mountain on VR. Excuse me, but I've not actually had much inspiration to play it, and that's not to say it's a bad game, because what I played so far is very, very good. But I wanted to finish some of the other games that I've started before doing that.
It's not like I like it. It's decent, but hate the story placement. Like it's a game about post-apocalypse, and you have the most colorful and...
Yeah. Yeah. But then, if the only dyes you've got are herbs and spices and plants, No, actually, that's not true. I was going to say you would naturally get vibrant colours, but no. That's not quite right. I'm chatting rubbish. But, I mean, it's computer games and computer game logic. You know, I've joked about it many a time on the streams that you've been on. And sometimes they do things because it's convenient. And although it's completely unrealistic, it makes it more attractive because humans like overly saturated things. It's one of the reasons on Instagram you'll see a lot of my pictures are desaturated, and it's because it's just too darn unnatural. Excuse me, sir, but get away from the ladies.
I don't really like it.
Ah, fair enough. I was able to look past that and just enjoy the story in the game. That's it, Tess.
Guys, get in here! Girl!
Oh, shoot. That'll do. And this is why I grabbed the metal bar. I really didn't expect to enjoy this game as much the third time through. And just so you know, I know that I had said on Twitch that I wasn't going to buy this game, but then I found out they'd upgraded the photo mode, and that was really the only excuse I needed. And I took your advice. I'm just playing this on stream. And
Ghost of Tsushima and GAR Ragnarok are still the top tier games of PS5.
oh, so very, very brilliant. They really are. I haven't played Ragnarok, so I still need to play that, but the previous one was fantastic.
This way. This will get us to the roof.
I am looking for free stuff, Tess. Give us a moment. So impatient. But yeah, I will always love Ghost of Tsushima. Played it 3 times, completed it twice.
If you liked the 2018 one, you will love Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, I really did. So I am confident of that.
We gotta find a way across.
As soon as
That's our building.
that comes on extra, I'll be downloading that game. I mean, it deserves to be paid for, but
Stand back.
I'm not going to. Right, where do I need to put this? Probably against here.
BTW, did you play Control and its DLCS?
No, I never completed it. Let alone by the download. So I epically failed on that one, mate. But I still intend to. It is on my list. I mean, probably not going to finish Deathloop. And that's no disrespect to the game. It is a good game. But I know I'm not going to. Where's this meant to go? Let's have an explore and then find out. Probably over there, actually. But yeah, a lot of the games that you watch me play on Twitch, I've not completed. So I'm still working my way through Ghost of
It's okay.
Tsushima.
You are the second person who doesn't like it that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even that I don't dislike it. I found
Watch
myself
your step as you're going out, because it's going to be a little...
enjoying taking pictures more than playing the
But
game.
you should finish Control, at least the main SOTA.
Oh, 100%. Fully intend to. But as I said, I'd started Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and that...
everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out. But man, can't deny that view.
Come on, this way.
Was it 'cause it was too repetitive?
Hey, pick it up.
I
We're
can't...
almost done.
I hate Tomb Raider series.
Oh, in that case, don't play Shadow. It's exactly the same. I certainly got... not quite bored, but I wasn't enthralled playing Deathloop.
It's right around this corner. Come on.
But
Let's get moving, kid.
it's not enough to put me off playing it. I think I enjoyed the art style of it more rather than the gameplay. Which is odd because I really like Dishonored, and it's, let's face it, it's quite similar. But without this... apart from I absolutely suck at stealth in that game, whereas I was good in Dishonored. But yeah, it just didn't grab me. That's all. But then it
It's
may...
Dishonored just mode Rome.
Yeah. I think what
Not
it
an
is...
asterisk.
Yeah, I got what you meant. What I think is it's going to be like Cyberpunk was for me, in that it took three... well, in Cyberpunk, it took me to start 3 different games, so to start 3 times before I actually enjoyed it. And I think with the Deathloop, starting it on my own and, you know, just playing it single player, I will get more of the story, buy into it. Thanks to you, I actually understand how to play it, and I was enjoying it when I knew it. But I think it just needs a restart. But I'd wanted to complete Ghost of Tsushima, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which may take a while. It's a short game, but I'm taking loads of pictures.
Look at this.
And
There's a
can I
Firefly logo on his
reload?
arm.
How do you reload?
What if we get there and they're all dead?
They won't be.
But how do you know?
I just do. Look, it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Just
Ugh. Okay, we're going to need to do in tutorials. Fight or flight.
Click shoot button without aiming.
Thank you, sir. I clearly doesn't need a reload then. That's what it is. Yeah, it's been far more recent you played this than I have. Okay. So, came down there. Where is the point where I need to get through? Ah, wrong button.
The second pistol does need reload.
Oh! Okay, give me a moment. Let's have a look. You are right. Well spotted, sir. Got that annoying thing where it feels like I need to sneeze, but it's not coming. So if I quickly mute, that's why. Oh, sorry, Tess. So how are you finding watching someone play this game?
Up and over.
Is it frustrating? Like, oh my god, he doesn't know that. Why didn't you collect this? And that sort of thing? Or are you actually quite enjoying it?
There we go. Home stretch, Tess.
I mean, you know me, I'm going to be searching everything to either take a picture or stock up on.
I can't remember any of these parts, D.
Ah, that's all good.
Just so it's out there, I can't swim.
Look, it looks like it's shallow on the right side. Follow me.
I'm glad Marlene hired you guys.
What do you mean?
I know you guys are getting paid for this, but
It's about time I actually took a picture of Ellie, I think. If it'll allow me. Gotta go this way. I really wish this wasn't orbital. That is so very annoying. Because it really does limit the shots you can get. So let's just hide the menu so I can get a better picture of it. Look at Ellie. Because that works quite well. I mean, I'm going to have to adjust the lighting and so on, but I'll do that in post-edit. What had initially attracted me to this was actually the water. Ugh, come on now. How can I construct this?
Any games on PS5 you would recommend me?
Oh, that's a very good question. Now, I got Session, which you've seen me play. It was one of the last streams on Twitch for about £20. But even for full price at 40, I'd recommend it. But that's not a PS5 exclusive. I mean, I'd imagine you're getting Spider-Man 2. Because that should be a fantastic game. It's more of the same. You know, so it's the same as the other ones, but that's not a bad thing. Miles Morales and Marvel Spider-Man were both brilliant games. But,
Sure do.
yeah, good lad. But there really is... There's not been that much that's grabbed my attention recently. So it's quite hard to actually recommend a game. I know that Death Stranding 2 is coming out, but you weren't really a fan of the first one, so that's not the best recommendation to make. But I genuinely can't.
RDR1 came out on PS5, but it's 30 FPS only.
No. Play RDR2 if you're going to do any of them. RDR1 is a good story, and if it comes with the Nightmare expansion pack, that was good. I've seen friends play it. It looked like a fantastic game. So that may be worth it. But I wouldn't pay any more than £40 for it. But the thing about 30 frames per second, most YouTube videos are 30 frames per second. And they don't look too bad.
Don't care about DLC STBH.
Ah, in that case, if you can get it for £30, it's still a good deal. But if you can get Red Dead Redemption 2 on a deal, I would say that's a much better game because it's still, even though it's last gen, it is still a very good looking game. Actually, you've got it. Am I right? You've got Red Dead Redemption 2? So that may be one, but
Well, 30 FPS video is different than 30 FPS game.
that is actually true.
I finished it already on PC.
Ah, you actually did because you were 100% in it. Shame. But yeah, it's really odd, isn't it? 30 frames per second games do seem very clunky. I think...
And can play on Ultra with the new graphics card.
Oh, that would be worth another playthrough. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, because it's only the consoles that didn't get an update. I genuinely cannot think of a game for you to play on PS5. Thinking about it. There's nothing that I...
Well, you don't control the videos. They don't respond to your commands, as though videos do, and it's weird.
It is, isn't it? But I think you're right there. You're more paying attention to the movement because you're more invested in it. I mean, cinema, for example, that's generally 26 or 26.5 frames per second, and yet it looks silky smooth. So it is odd. And give me a second, I'm just going to explain this picture so I can use it for a video later on. So for this picture, I've got Ellie as, I mean, she's really, really bright. So with the exception of the fog, which is sort of framing her head, she's the brightest element. We've got a really interesting texture in the water. And I've adjusted the aperture so that you can make out quite easily what the surrounding scenery is. So it's placing her in that, but you can still know where I'm aiming you to look at, which is Ellie, because she's the only thing that's fully in focus. So I'm just going to get rid of the grid, get rid of the menu, and take that shot. Yeah, I got so into talking to you because it's been a while, and you know, again, no issue. Join when you can. That I completely forgot that what I'm meant to be doing is when I'm chatting to you guys, I'm meant to stop setting up the picture so I can talk through it. But still learning. Still trying to become a better streamer and YouTuber and photographer. And I've actually been getting into video editing as well. So I'm trying to learn techniques about that to become better at making more engaging short form content out of these streams. And I even made an advert on Instagram, which I was really proud of. I mean,
you are actually really good at it.
Oh, thank you, mate. Yeah, it's just trial and error more than anything else. I mean, some of it, you've just got to have a clear idea before you make a start, because you can waste hours on it. But the rest is just trying different techniques and just giving it a go. Oh, it's this bit.
What happens now?
What are you doing, Tess?
Oh, God. Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As
this?
far as it needs to go. Where was this lab of theirs?
Oh, she never said. She only mentioned that it was someplace out west.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us? About me?
I know that you are smarter than this.
Really? Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long time.
No, we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess! Now, we tried. Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh.
This is my last stop.
What?
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
You going on?
No, don't touch me.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Joel,
Let me see.
I didn't mean for this.
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
Oops, right?
Poor thing.
Give me your arm. This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go.
No. That was your crusade. I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look. There's enough here that you have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's. They're here.
Damn it.
I can buy you some time, but you have to run.
You want us to just leave you here?
Yes.
There is no way that...
I will not turn into one of those things. Come on. Make this easy for me.
I can find...
No, just go! Just fucking go.
Ellie,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this.
get a move on.
We know you're in there. Drop your weapons and come out with your hands up.
What the fuck? I can't believe we did that.
Stop.
We just left her to die.
Stop. You stay close to me. We have to move.
Oh, man.
Now that was slightly different in the TV series,
We'll go upstairs. Probably get...
but it was actually just as poignant.
Just keep pushing forward.
I can't remember, did you see it?
Target neutralized. She took out 2 of my men. Copy that. You, take out the door.
Oh my
You,
God.
with me.
Yes, sir.
Tess.
I'm gonna get that picture.
I didn't watch the series.
Well worth it. I mean, some people were very displeased with certain elements of it, but I actually thought they did a fantastic job. Not going to get all of them in it. But
Don't get me wrong, but I really don't like the actors of Ellie and Sarah.
see, with Sarah, I think she was probably closer in mannerisms and it's going to sound terribly spiritualist, but her energy seemed to match very well. Obviously, she's very physically different, but I didn't mind that so much. I really did relate to Ellie in the end, but I found she had a little bit too much attitude. So I kind of get where you're going with that one. She was just a little bit too sassy. Okay, so I just need to get her a little bit more centered. Oh, mate, this is so difficult. So when you rotate the screen, the controls rotate with it. So that's why I'm just all over the place on this. So next I'm going to set the focal distance on her. Going to really increase the intensity though, because I don't really want this foreground in focus. So I can't get the background out of focus enough. Let's just hide the grid and take that out, and then make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye for me. So I've done that. I'm just going to... Oh, that messes up the angle. So what I was trying to do is zoom out a bit more to give myself some space to play with and potentially crop a bit better. So I'm just going to place her center, but don't be surprised if she's in a different position when I edit this picture. But you do really buy into it in the end. I mean, the Sarah thing, she's not there that long, so that didn't bother me so much. But with Ellie, the way she played the character and how the world was seemed to work for me. So I was able to get over that. Either I got over the initial hyper-aggression, or she learnt the character better. Oh, shoot. I don't remember actually having to kill these guys. Stop moving so I can shoot you. One helmet off. One head popped. You don't get to call me that. You shot me first. Okay, well, at least we're in a room where we cannot be flanked. Let's see if this guy makes an interesting picture. Quite like the foreground element. I was tempted to do the old rule of thirds thing, but I'm not actually going to. I'm going to try and... Okay, I've just put the foreground on the bottom horizontal for the old rule of thirds trick. And I believe I need to drop this back a bit to get him in focus. He's not actually that interesting. So what I'm going to do is try and just get the gun in focus. Let's do this. So full on intensity, that allows me to see where is actually in focus. Although it's quite an interesting detail, it's a distracting one, the inside of the archway of the door. But it's a really nice close frame. You've got repeated patterns with the either side of the archway, and the gun almost looks like it's aiming at you. So I rather like that. I'm going to remove that in the grid, take the shot, and then I'm going to explore some angles, if I can. So that's straight on. It's lost some of the repeating pattern, and I really wish the lamp thing in the background wasn't covering his arm. So that tells me I'm not quite there yet. I can't go any further. That is the best I can do. Because what I'm doing is using these foreground elements, so the lamp things that are going up, as a way of framing him even further. So it's a frame within a frame. Technically, because this is a picture, which is also a frame within a frame and a frame. But I'm going to grab that one. And you just have to remember, as long as you've got a fairly decent hard disk size, you're not limited by films, so take as many shots as you want, and then download the ones that really speak to you. So that's a new thing that I've picked up. So let's carry on. So this is your last year at school, isn't it, Ainley? You're going to college soon, if I remember rightly. These guys better have some bullets, because I'm
Come
out.
again.
Is this your last year in school? Before you go to college? What, no bullets?
Sure is grinning face.
Oh, my days. Oh, fingers crossed when you go
At
to
least I hope so.
Ah, mate. As I said to you before, you're a smart lad, so you're clearly going to pass it. And then go on to college. And I really hope you get good lecturers in college. Because you deserve it. You deserve people who can inspire you and actually teach you instead of you having to do it yourself. Or it just being so easy you barely had to do anything. Okay, what do you have for me, sir? Papa got a brand new toy. Hehehe. Don't think I'm going to use it just
Well, I
yet.
hope they teach me something.
Yeah, because I'll say the last ones didn't. No. I will get better with this menu system.
What do we do? Joel?
I got this.
Fairly closely bunched, so this may be a challenge. Matey boy is broken off from the group. Oh, that's why.
Holy shit.
Schoolboy error. Now I'm hoping I stay out of this man's line of sight, but I think I'm getting a bit close.
There's a body over here.
The bodies hit the floor. The bodies hit the floor. Oh, shoot. Ooh. I move like the night. Missed. Which conveniently is I think could be used as a swear word in German.
They ran in the office. Don't let them cut through.
Go, come on.
That may be a picture later on. If I can get Ellie to pose there, that is. I'm just going to take the shot.
All right, come on, Ellie.
Right behind you.
Come on, kid. Oh, this camera limitation's a bit. So, how did I get around it last time? I think zoom out as much as possible. Yeah, this is going to be quite challenging. Because if I zoom in, I lose her. So, Because really I want this to be Ellie. Come on now. Where's Joel? He's not that far out. So that's the annoying thing is you can actually move a fair amount, but it's just not allowing me. So can I get her there? Where is it? Hide characters. So he's hidden. That's fine. Drop that down a bit. Have her framed by the windowsill. Maybe place her over here, because I want some of that grass in there. And the creepers. That's the thing that grabbed my attention. So we've got a very narrow depth of field. So let's expand that. So that's a terrible picture of her. Yeah, she's probably going to need a bit of lighting to improve this. Because I don't like how it's hitting her face. Let's just remove this. Well, we'll do the roll first. And ignore the light icon. That's going to disappear. And if we move her over to an edge, maybe get rid of that wall. That works fairly well. And then let's do the lighting. Oh, okay, hang on. About there. So the light is on Joel. So we need to... Okay, I have to give up. Yeah, it just never works that way. So, drop down, set it up this way as best we can. Then do the light, because it's far easier when you can actually work out what the hell you're doing. Although it's orbiting around Joel, which makes things difficult. Rotate it, lift it up. I just need a little bit on her. This is not working how I expect it to, but it's because it's going in a different way to how it's designed to. Okay, so we've got some light on her. We're going to increase the... How can I do this? Because what I want to do is actually show her face. So I need to... I've increased the distance. I'm going to increase the spread. Intensity, drop it down, because clearly There isn't, you know, the light source is behind it. So, but no one knows what's in the other room. So I can kind of get away with it, but I don't need a great deal of it. Simply because I'm just bringing her to the foreground. I'm not really trying to lie to her. But I feel that that shows her face sort of better. Because if you look, that doesn't look like her. Whereas that does. I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to have to give up on this beautiful dream. Okay, we'll try the roll. I think I can get away with it. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I don't think it looks fake, because it does. But it's had the desired effect. And let's face it, photographers use light all the time. So I'm going to take that shot. So I've got her... Well, actually, that was quite a good angle. So I've got... I'll demonstrate again. I've got her roughly on the third, but to accentuate the point of interest, the centre part of the window frame is pointing down to her. She's framed by the curtains as well, so that works really well. There's a little bit of the wall in there, right on this edge, but I'm most likely going to crop in a little bit to lose that, so I'm not concerned about it. But you've also got a... Sorry for my ignorance. I think it's called a trellis. But that trellis is leading towards her as well as quite a lot of the grass is pointing towards her and acting as leading lines. So that's how I've composed this shot. I also like how this is a very green picture. The blue of the curtains complements green because it's next on the colour wheel. But then you've got a little bit of orange above it, and then it goes to sand. So it's not like green. It's a lot more subtle. And I kind of like the looking up angle on her. So I'm going to grab that picture. And let's at least get out of this area to end the stream on. But the things I tend to like, nature reclaiming things like buildings, or just I love little plants as well. And for some reason, lamps and lanterns, just love them.
Joel, how are we gonna get out of here?
Right. We're gonna go through that hall. Stay down. I don't know how many more there are.
Well, we killed a fair few of them, but we're going to need to have a look for some resources to build skivs. Found tape. I don't think they heard us. And I'm going to need some blades. I like this room. But as all gamers know, when you get a lot of either health or weapons, you're about to use them all. talking of which, I think we're going to have our first person. And let's bring him around this way. I'll eventually learn these, but here we are. See, that was what I was going to do, but I don't like his expression. What I do like is this character in the background. So, rather than trying to muck around and go against the orbital, I'm going to use field of view to do this, which does lose a lot of its impact, so let's just drop back a tad. And try and find what I liked about it in the first place. And it's most likely what attracted me was the two pillars, if you can call them that, and the trellis like behind his head. I don't know why I like his feet in that position, but I find that really interesting. I'm quite interested to have him walking into the room like that. And then I remember that actually I'm going to have to make some adjustments because I'll want him about there. Because I forgot to do the roll. 90%. I'm not overly concerned about... Give me a second. Joel's elbow. Simply because that's going to be cropped out anyway. What I am contemplating is whether I want to keep the carpet in focus. I'm definitely going to blur out the background because that chair is just
BRB.
Alright, my man. Well, I'm probably going to be ending very, very soon. So if I go before you come back, thanks for joining us, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again. And I hope you have a great week. But I may still be back when you return. I need a little bit more intensity, which means I need to just fully refocus the depth of view. I'm not too concerned about his shoulders being in focus and his back leg. Really, I'm interested in his face and his hands and his boots, because I suppose because his boots are forming a triangle, which is a geometric shape. You've got a rectangle behind him. Pardon me, as I said, you've got the trellis. The carpet, I think, is quite interesting, right down to the pillow, but they're really things that I just want to be blurred. I think I need to move the distance further back. Now, I thought that because if you look at this side of the archway, there's quite a bit of detail there. I mean, I expect it on the actual inner archway because it's pretty much parallel to him, but I didn't expect this much. I'm gonna have to max the intensity, truly find our character. It's about there. Let's have a look. So a lot of the sofa or couch, I'm not educated enough to know the difference, will be cropped out of this picture. So you'll probably get the cushion, maybe a little bit of the chair. I don't believe I'm going to have the chandelier in there either. But I think he stands out. I think the carpet and how it's crumpled up a bit is good. I wouldn't normally go for this level of Boku, but that chair in the background, although level with him, is just a bit much. It makes it a messy picture, and I want quite a clean one, so I've just had to go full on intensity. I was going to dial it back, but looking at this, I think that's the shot. I was going to say you were lucky, sir, but you just had a revolver bullet straight through the head. And you are pretty much going to have the same. Oh, I just shot his ear off. I really don't like hurting these people, so I try and kill them straight. Oh my sweet Jesus. So that's what happens when you point blank someone with a... I didn't expect them to program that. Oh, they didn't. Everyone loses their face. That's pretty gruesome. I mean, I know I said I didn't really like his facial expression, but I didn't expect to see it on the floor afterwards. That's just gross. Okay. So, things I need to do is health. Most certainly. And I need to swap my gun and reload it, because these are far more plentiful than revolver, so I don't want to use them on... Really, they're just soldiers. They're quite easy kills. I don't need a shiv for them. I just want to keep the revolver ammo for clickers, really. Those would be the most suitable candidates for it. Where did he go? Can't hear him, so he stopped moving. Again, I may be too far away. I want to have a look at what this is. I've got health, so that's fine. Can I hear him here? Yes, I can. So he's doing a lap. It's odd, I've got a headache. Just there. Only on one side at the back of my head. Which generally means there's probably a bit of tension here. Which in hindsight, doing that an awful lot is probably what caused it. See, the pain I go through to entertain you guys. I'm such a martyr. Really am. I want to do a silent kill. Save bullets and aggro as much as possible. That is going to prove to be very, very difficult, so I'm going to set myself up here. Because Ellie does generally appear to be quite invisible to these guys. Oh! I was going to say, I was pretty sure they come out. Because I thought someone had come out of there and through here, and it was that blurry white shadow there, but it doesn't appear to be. So he seems fairly static in his route, but I could be wrong. He may be the one that was... No. I think I'm wrong. It comes close to here, but I don't... He didn't come out last time. Yeah, he's gone back on himself.
Damn it! Got a man down! Hey, over there. I saw something.
Yeah. Stealth was ruined as soon as I stepped out. Sorry, sir. Didn't mean to prolong his pain. Oh, he had a good gun. Good thing I took that one out.
Joel, there's the exit.
I see it.
Yeah, you're a smart one, really. Okay, before we leave, let's do a sweep, see if there are any resources. Specifically, bullets would be greatly appreciated. But health is also a suitable alternative. I really don't think there's anything in here. So we're full on health. There's nothing in the drawers. Time to move on. What's that? Oh, just fire. Extinguisher. Did I check this room or corridor? There wasn't anything anyway. Ooh. Got my hopes up then. There was something shiny. But this is a good place to end it, I think. We've had a sad moment. We've had some nice photos. We had a lovely catch up with Ainley, which I always enjoy talking to him, and it means so much that he's moved across here to check me out time to time. Because it's not like Twitch where you always get notifications when someone you follow goes on stream. And, you know, life gets in the way. So it's just been absolutely wonderful to just catch up with him and have a chat. And of course Carl as well. Always means the world to me to have him here. So I've thoroughly enjoyed this stream, and I hope you guys have as well. But as usual, I will be editing the photos, getting them onto YouTube. I'll make the video as well. The photos on Instagram, and it's King of Etiquette, all one word, all lowercase, so the same as the YouTube name. And then I'll get the video done, which I'll hope to be finished by Monday, and I will catch you in the next one. So follow me if you've enjoyed this, and you'll see all of my content and keep up to date. And most importantly, have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.